Let's start with the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Viddhishavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are doing Tattvabodha, and today will be the last class, if we can finish the balance portion. We have studied so far 36 verses. Totally, there are 38 verses. And this is a very important text for people who are entering into the spiritual study and who want to study the Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads. What happens if you study this, and what happens if you don't study this? If you study this, there are a lot of technical terms which come in the Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, which you can understand if you know the basics. For example, if you go and study physics or school, we will talk about math, we will talk about different technical terms. How do you use technical terms? We studied here three sharirams: Sthula shariram, Sukshma shariram, Karana shariram. Sthula prapancha, Sukshma prapancha, Karana prapancha. These are all terms which are used in the Upanishads. So if you want to understand the spiritual science, you must become familiar with the words. And a proper study of Tattvabodha is recommended even after study of Upanishads. They say, come back to Tattvabodha, study revise the Tattvabodha, again go back to Upanishadic study. Let's go back to the 36th verse, which we were doing last week.
ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मीति अपरोक्षज्ञानेन निखिल कर्मबन्ध विनिर्मुक्तः स्यात् निखिल कर्मबन्ध विनिर्मुक्तः स्यात्.
So we are doing the topic of Jivan Mukta. After we study the Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, and if your mind is ready, the final result, the benefit of the study is you become free from the bondage with all actions. That is what this particular verse is saying. Become free from bondage. Free from bondage means what? Earlier, I thought I was a karta, a doer of action. After jnanam, you drop the idea that I am doing the action, and that is replaced by the body is doing action. I am a witness to the body's actions. So this is a change. This change is called as Jivan Mukti. Jivatvam means individuality. All of us are born with individuality. I am this body, I have a mind, I am living in the world. This is our individuality. By the study of Veda, you displace this notion in your mind. As the body, you will be doing actions. Walking, eating, drinking, studying, all that is done by the body. But a jnani is one who doesn't identify with the body as himself. He identifies with the body, but it is an object of awareness. Karma here has got a technical meaning. Karma normally means action. That is the dictionary meaning of karma. But here the same word karma has got another meaning, which is punya papam. What is punyam? Punyam means the meritorious actions which you do in this life. Suppose you go and help somebody, these are all small actions. But then what Ved says is, these actions will result in purity of mind. This is why people do a lot of meritorious actions. You may not know the Veda. You may not know the Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita. There are many people in the world who are not even Hindus. They may be they may belong to other religions, but the principle remains the same. You do well, you do good in the society, and you will reap the benefits. Some of the benefits are visible. Some benefits are invisible. So, punyam means meritorious activities, the result of meritorious activities. Papam means the result of harmful activities. How do these activities express in our life? They come to us in the form of our experiences in life. In the next section, we are going to study Prārabdha karma, a very, very important law in the Veda. So this is just a beginning introduction to that section, which Shankaracharya brilliantly brings it here. Hands and legs are the karma indriya. Karma indriya means what? They are the they are the organs of action. And by doing actions, what happens in the end? By actions, there is always a result of action. And the result of action is what we call it as punyam and papa. So punya karma and papa karma are very, very common in our day-to-day living. All our experiences can be explained with the help of these two results. Now we proceed to the next section, which is a very important law which we must understand to understand what is life.
Karmani katividhani santiti chet Āgāmi Sanchita Prārabdha bhedena Trividhani santi
What are the different types of karma and karma phalam? So that is what we are studying now. Karma phalam can be divided into three portions: Āgāmi, Sanchita, and Prārabdha. I will explain to you each of them, and then you can understand what are the different results coming from these three karmas. Karma phala. When we understand Aikyam, we have studied about Jivatma, Paramatma, oneness. Oneness means I, the individual, am one with the total self. There are two selves in this universe. One is the individual self and the total self, which is, we call it Ishvara. And we have seen Jivan Mukti means freedom from bondage to the body. While in this world itself, we can get this freedom. That is called as Jivan Mukti. And what are the results of these Jivan Mukti? We have seen before, Jñāsa Nivritti. That means all your questions regarding the world and your life will be answered. Vidyananda Prapti means the acquisition of knowledge. Karpanya Nivritti means feeling of limitations. I am a very limited individual. That feeling is called as bondage. But all this, can they go by knowledge? Yes. Veda says that all these limitations can go away. Agatha Nivritti means emotional disturbances which come to our life. They can get an absorber, shock absorber. That means you will be able to face life much better after this knowledge. Dakshata Prapti means what? Dakshata Prapti means efficiency in life. Suppose you are a banker, you will be a good banker. Suppose you are a father, you will be a good father. Why? Because the mind will become clear. When the mind is clear, you will find that you are able to work more efficiently than before. And it is these benefits which attract people to Veda. There is another benefit which is Videha Mukti. Videha Mukti is after death. After death, what happens? Veda says you will never take birth into this world again. Some people will say, oh, that is not a good idea. But what Veda says is, being born in this world initially may appear very good. But what happens is, as you become old, you have old age, you have diseases, you have suffering, and finally death. So freedom from another human birth is promised by Veda for as a benefit of this knowledge. Very big thing. I mean, this is something which is unheard of, but Veda promises that. Now, when you get Videha Mukti, Videha means no body in future. Normally, what Veda says, you will take repeated births one after the other. This is not your first birth. There have been many births before this body. There will be births after this body leaves. But with the knowledge of Veda, with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, you get Aikya Jnanam. Aikya Jnanam means knowledge of individuality will go away. Aikya means oneness. What do you mean by this oneness? Oneness means when I merge my identification with this body, I merge it with the total self. I mean, these are things which are said in the Veda, that there is another invisible uh, substance or vastu, as which they call it as Brahman, which I have discussed with you before, Atma or Brahman. So when you merge your mind totally with that, what happens? You get something called as oneness with the Ishvara, oneness with the totality. Now, the law of karma is what we are going to discuss from now. I said before, any action is called as karma. And according to the law, every action produces a result, a visible result or an invisible result. The visible results we can see and experience directly. Invisible results, we cannot see them, but we do experience them. The positive invisible result is called as punyam, which is what I called as meritorious activities. The negative invisible result is called as papa. Papa means painful experiences. Now, our whole life is either good experiences or painful experiences or mixture. Neither it is good, neither it is bad. You're just leading a normal life. That also happens. Now, drishta, the cause for these results is either punyam or papa. Papam can come by way of diseases, it can come by way of injuries, it can come by way of death. These are all different ways in which this punya and papam cycle they work. Sometimes we are not able to understand why some things happen to me only. People outside are so healthy, running, walking. They are so successful in life. Sometimes you wonder why I am like this. Veda says it is Prārabdha karma. It is what you were destined to be born with this type of experiences, so you will experience this. Both punyam and papam is invisible, but pleasure and pain is experienceable. Adrishta punyam, visible punyam is called as happiness, experience of joy. Invisible papam is called as experience of dukkham. Now, some people will ask, how long this punyam and papam takes to get converted into pleasure and pain? How long does it take? Which the teachers, the acharyas, they tell us, they give us an example. There are some seeds which you sow the seed and you will get the result within a week. A papaya seed quickly grows into a tree and we get the fruit. A mango tree takes 10 years to give the fruit. A coconut takes a full generation. You sow the seed and then you will get result after maybe 20 years or so. So the duration of the fruit, the production of the fruit depends on the seed. Similarly, our prārabdha karma which is there in our karana shariram, causal body, may take the result may come now in this birth, after 10 years, after 15 years, it may come in the next birth also. That is what the Veda says. Now, how to understand this Sanchita karma, Prārabdha karma? Sanchita means our past life's savings of karma phala. Sanchita means accumulated. I told you there are three types of karma. One is Sanchitam, second is Prārabdha, and the third is Āgāmi. I'll explain each one of them so you will be able to understand. So the past life composite result is called as Sanchita. What about Prārabdham? Prārabdha means a part of that Sanchitam becomes mature in this birth. It will give me in this birth joy and sorrow. The balance will be carried forward for the next birth. A Prārabdha karma phalam decides whether we are a male, we are female, whether we are born with a healthy body, congenital diseases body. Prārabdha karma also decides our parentage, to which parents are we born. Then it also decides our siblings. Why am I born with this sister or this brother? How long will you live in this world? Some people are born after 1 year, they die. Some are die after 40 years. Some die after 60 years. Many a times we are not able to find an answer to this question. Many people come to study the Vedas because they don't understand what is life, what is death. I see babies being born. I see people dying. But then how do you connect these two? What is the connecting factor? The connecting factor is every individual who takes birth has a certain past which he has to fructify in this birth. Now, what is Āgāmi? You have understood Sanchita. Prārabdha means whatever we are experiencing in this life, right from birth to death. All actions which we do, the result of that action is Prārabdha karma. Now, what about Āgāmi karma? In this life, when we do actions, again we incur punyam and papam. Whatever we acquire in this birth, the punyam and papam, is called as fresh Āgāmi karma. Newly. So this Āgāmi karma might again give result in this birth also, or it can be added to the Sanchita in the next birth. I hope you have understood the three concepts: Prārabdham, Sanchita, and Āgāmi. Whenever the Prārabdha karma finishes, the body will fall. They say in the Veda, the purpose of the body's being born in this world is exhaustion of karma phala. During death, a part of the Āgāmi which couldn't fructify in this birth joins the Sanchita bundle. Sanchita means what? The balance of the punya papam in my overall account. What happens to a Jñāni, they say that what happened to the three karmas of a Jnani? See, Sanchita is the accumulated. Prārabdha is the fructified. Āgāmi is the arriving new ones. Now, for a Jnani, they say that during death, he will exhaust his Prārabdha, all the Sanchita will be burnt, and Āgāmi will not arrive. That is the advantage of studying the Veda. Therefore, they say in future there will be no births because his account is zero. At the end of Jnani's death, his file is closed. That means his individuality, which he was experiencing for so many births, is no more available for him. These are all things which we can know only from the Veda, because these are all what is called as apaurisheya vishayaha. Apaurisheya vishaya means it cannot be known by human beings. This subject matter of karma phalam, we get it only from the Veda. And Āgāmi punya karma, punya papam, Sanchita punya papam, Prārabdha punya papam are all exhausted by a Jnani. What is the definition of Āgāmi? Let me now play this verse.
Jnānotpatyanantaram Jnāni dehakritam punya papa rupam karma yadasti tadāgāmityabhidīyate.
So, the Āgāmi is defined here. I've already explained to you what is Āgāmi and what happens to a Jnani is Āgāmi. I have already explained, but in this slide, what it says is, for an Ajñāni, Ajñāni means what? For an ignorant person. For an ignorant person, when we start our actions in this birth, Āgāmi also starts. Prārabdha also starts. For a Jnani, the Prārabdha ends at the dawn of knowledge. The moment he gets the knowledge, all his Prārabdha karmas end, but there will be Jnani still performing actions in the world. Those actions are for the benefit of the people around him. The main advantage for a Jnani is the Jnani does not look at his body as his own self. Therefore, his Āgāmi is, after Jnanam, his Āgāmi doesn't arise at all. His old Prārabdha will continue. That is like an arrow which has been shot. You cannot stop the arrow. The body is born. Body will go through its Prārabdha karma. Now, the definition of Sanchitam is given here.
Sanchita karma kim Sanchitam karma kim Ananta koti janmanam Bijabhutam sat Yat karma jatam Purvarjitam tisthati पूर्वार्जितं तिष्ठति तत् सञ्चितं ज्ञेयम् तत् सञ्चितं ज्ञेयम्.
Sanchita means it is the seed. That's all you should remember. A seed which will give future birth. It is the total merit and demerit in your account of all your previous births. The first bundle is called as Sanchitam. Okay? What is the definition of Prārabdha karma?
प्रारब्धं कर्म प्रारब्धं कर्म किमिति चेत् इदं शरीरमुत्पाद्य इह लोके एव सुखदुःखादिप्रदम् यत् कर्म तत् प्रारब्धम् भोगेन नष्टं भवति प्रारब्धकर्मणां भोगादेव क्षय इति.
Prārabdham is the same for Jñāni as well as Ajñāni. So when a newborn is born, then what happens? That the Sanchita which has fructified is this body. So your date of birth, your place of birth, your type of body, all this Prārabdha. You're born in the US, you're born in Japan, you're born in India, you're born in Singapore. Well, all this is determined by your Prārabdha karma. Some people are born genius. At the age of 5 or 10, they can chant the whole Bhagavad Gita. How? They can sing beautifully some Carnatic music. Some are people who can go and teach. In the YouTube, you can find some of these things. A 10-year-old boy teach a PhD student. He can take a class in college. All this is explained only by Prārabdham. Now, Prārabdham, once it is there, it has given birth to a body, it has to exhaust. And all things which come to you is because of Prārabdha. You may be a very wealthy person. Why? Again, if you really study your life, you will not be able to find one factor. You may have studied, you may have gone into business, you may have earned a lot of money, but then there will be something at the back of your mind. What did I do in this birth to get this money or this PhD degree? How did I get it? Prārabdha karma. So, as far as Prārabdha karma is concerned, what people say, what Acharyas they say is, let the body experience the Prārabdha karma. Take it as a given thing for you. There is a lot of debate between fate and free will. It is all coming from these discussions of Prārabdha karma. There is another verse regarding Sanchitam. what is the benefit of destroying this sanctum by the knowledge of Aham Brahma Asmi. That is what is explained in the next verse.
Sanchitam karma, Sanchitam karma, Brahmaivahamiti, Brahmaivahamiti, Nischayatmaka jnanena nashyati, Nischayatmaka jnanena nashyati.
Nishchaya Atmikat Tvena Jnanena Nashyati. Firm decision in your own intellect. I am pure consciousness, awareness, which does not have a body. That knowledge will give you the destruction of all the Sanchita karmas which are in your account. By the firm knowledge, all the Sanchitam karma can be destroyed. Like cancerous cells can be destroyed by a powerful radiation. Similarly, the powerful radiation of the Jnanam from the Veda can destroy your old karmas. For this, Veda is the only Praman. Regarding Āgāmi, there is another verse.
Āgāmi karma api, Āgāmi karma api, Jnanena nashyati, Jnanena nashyati, Kincha, Kincha, Āgāmi karmanam, Āgāmi karmanam, Nalinidala gata jalavat, Nalinidala gata jalavat, Jñāninam sambandho nasti, Jñāninam sambandho nasti.
It's a very beautiful verse which talks about how a Jñāni, after Jnanam, how does he live in life? The first thing you should know about a Jnāni is he doesn't have an ahamkara ego, which is the cause of punya papa. Suppose you're doing action and you say, I am doing the action, suppose you say body is doing the action, then that is called as a Jnāni. Suppose you say, I am in the action, it is called a Ajñāni. Ignorant man says, I am doing all the actions, I will get the reward, I will get the results of these actions. We are all born like that. But then the conversion of an ignorant person to a knowledgeable person through the Vedic study is what is discussed here. A Jnāni doesn't have identification with the karmas which are done by the body after Jnanam. For example, suppose you study the Bhagavad Gita and thoroughly, and you decide in your own mind, yes, I agree with the Veda. Veda says, I am a pure Sakshi. Sakshi means a witness of the body's actions. I am not the doer of action, but I am a witness of the body acting in the world. So many bodies have come and gone, but then what happens? I create a distance between me and the body, me and the mind. Today, the body is me, mind is me. With this knowledge of Atma, or Brahman, the totality, I become free from this notion. Like you have You suppose you drop a leaf, you see a drop of water on the leaf. The drop of water on the leaf is not wet by the water. It is the leaf is uh, it is there, but the leaf does not feel the nature of the water. What happens is, similarly, actions may go on for a jnani, but the jnani does not have any relationship with the actions. When the jnani becomes free from ego, then he can do nothing in this world which will harm others, which will, because he is a jnani. Jnani means he will always look at good things for you. That is being explained in this verse.
किञ्च किञ्च ये ज्ञानिनं स्तुवन्ति ये ज्ञानिनं स्तुवन्ति भजन्ति अर्चयन्ति भजन्ति अर्चयन्ति तान् प्रति ज्ञानिकृतम् आगामि पुण्यं गच्छति तान् प्रति ज्ञानिकृतम् आगामि पुण्यं गच्छति ये ज्ञानिनं निन्दन्ति ये ज्ञानिनं निन्दन्ति द्विषन्ति द्विषन्ति दुःखप्रदानं कुर्वन्ति दुःखप्रदानं कुर्वन्ति तान् प्रति ज्ञानिकृतं सर्वमागामि क्रियमाणं सर्वमागामि क्रियमाणं यदवाञ्छं कर्म यदवाच्छं कर्म पापात्मकं तद्गच्छति पापात्मकं तद्गच्छति सुहृदः पुण्यकृत्यं सुहृदः पुण्यकृत्यं दुर्हृदः पापकृत्यं गृह्णन्ति दुर्हृदः पापकृत्यं गृह्णन्ति.
Here, how Ajñānis, they treat a jnani. That is what is described. Suppose we are all ignorant and we worship a jnani. For example, a Swamiji comes into town, you go and meet him and you do namaskaram to him. What happens to those people is being described by Shankaracharya here. He says, sometimes when a jnani visits a person, he gives his punyam to the devotee, and the devotee becomes punyavan. This is one side of the story. The second side of the story is what? You criticize a jnani. When you criticize a jnani, then Shankaracharya says that a papam of a jnani can also be transferred to you, but this is something which is we can't take it completely truthful. It may happen, may not happen. This is just a remark which is made by Shankaracharya. Perhaps during his time there were a lot of problems with the jnanis, so this is what he has said. But one thing which we have to understand is, for a wise person who has gone through the Veda, studied the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, he will not have rebirth and suffer samsara again in this universe. That is the main teaching in this particular portion. I have some additional notes here on the law of karma. This law of karma is a unique Vedic teaching. It gives us a lot of mental relaxation because many a times we don't know why we suffer. Understanding this law of karma helps me to accept what comes to me as a prasad. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, whatever action, whatever experience you get, take it as a prasad from the Lord. So that buddhi, I am able to get that orientation, prasada buddhi bhavana will come to me when I understand the law of karma clearly. The past karta has become the present bhokta. The past doer of action in the previous births has become the current reaper of the results of actions. So don't blame anybody else for your experiences in life. If you understand the law of karma, you will say, it is my prārabdha karma. I have to exhaust this prārabdha karma. That is what wise people will do. The past I, which was acting in the world, is responsible for the present. So the first corollary is, I don't blame others for my experiences. Second corollary is, if the past I is responsible for the current I will make it a good I will do good actions. Past I cannot correct. But the present I can influence, control, manage. With my present I can influence my future I. So take all the experiences of the past as your fate. Take the current life as a which is with a free will which is given to you. So apply the free will law for the current life, which will influence your future life. Take responsibility for the future by taking care of your present action. So destiny is with reference to past. Destiny is with reference to your current action. Fate means something which has already gone, past life. Like yesterday, something happened. If you are analyzing that experience of yesterday, today, or 5 years ago, some experiences, today when you analyze it, take it as something which was given to you. You had to face it, you experienced it, move on. That is why in Bhagavad Gita, in the 6th chapter, the Lord Krishna says, Uddhare Atmanam. Come on, rise up and put your effort. Put effort in the present. Always put effort in the present. Don't look at the past. That's why people generally say, don't even think about the past. Keep looking at the present. Always live in the present. Be enthusiastic. Congratulate people around you. Give them support. Give them a boost. So take charge of your future by taking charge of your present. So I myself am experiencing the Prārabdham. I myself put effort and create the Āgāmi karma by my current actions. And whatever experiences I will get, I accept. Problem is, we correlate our current actions with current experiences. That is what is the problem. Current experiences are dependent on so many factors which are coming from the past. So you cannot correlate your current experiences at all. You accept them. Some people will say, I am doing so many good actions right now, but why do I suffer? It is because of the previous karma. So human experiences are a mixture of Prārabdha karma and Āgāmi karma. Every day, what you will experience is, you put an effort today. It doesn't mean that you will get the reward only after in the next birth. Sometimes you get the reward even immediately. For example, you go and study in a good school, good college, you get results. And then you get the phalam immediately. You can get a good job. So these are all Āgāmi karmas, which are done now and you get a fruit now. But some of these Āgāmi, you may not be able to get the fruit in this birth. It is transferred to the next. So third corollary is, never make a wrong equation. Good people will suffer, bad people will enjoy and question God. Don't make this wrong conclusion. Because you see in life, these things are happening. And then you question God. How can good people be punished by Lord? So that is a short-sighted approach. The fourth corollary is, this entire punyam and papam is invisible. Adrishtam. We can't deal with Prārabdha because it is adrishtam. We don't know our past. That is why the people go to a horoscope, take horoscope, study what is my planetary position during my birth time. Horoscopes, they indicate certain negative prarabdha according to the sunrise and sunset, but it may not be 100% true. They are only indicators. It is not 100% true. The planetary position can indicate, but they are not the cause of suffering or the cause of joy. So, what they say is, do good karma. You must be able to take care of your life now, here and now. There are some karmas which are recommended by astrologers, which is called as prayaschitta karma. A lot of Indians may know this. Prayaschitta means, by doing certain good karmas in this birth, by going to a temple for 21 days, this is called as prayaschitta. It's like a medicine for some diseases. All diseases cannot be cured. Some diseases can be cured. Similarly, prayaschitta karma can cure some low intensity prarabdha. You can manage some of the intermediary prarabdha. But there are some powerful prarabdha like terminal disease. I suddenly discover I have cancer. You can imagine what a huge mindset change a person will have. It's a tremendous change. But we all have to accept it and live life in the best possible way on a daily basis. Never postpone good actions in the future. Do it today, right now. So prayashchittam is okay for certain low intensity prarabdhas. Some prarabdhas have to be accepted and lived. Those are difficult prarabdhas. The next corollary is regarding rebirth. We are not able to exhaust all our karma phalams in one birth. Even if you have 70, 80, 100 years, 100 years is nothing compared to the Prārabdha karma in your account. One of the ways you can understand this karma, all this Prārabdha karma, Sanchita, and all that. One of the ways, yeah, is you try to analyze your thoughts. How do thoughts come into your mind? There is no answer to this question except Prārabdha karma. Why do I think about this today, not yesterday, not tomorrow? Why today? That is Prārabdha karma. That is the expression of Prārabdha karma. See, this law of karma is the basis of Veda Purva Bhaga. People do rituals hoping that they will get Swarga. Now, Swarga Phalam is not in this birth, it is coming in the future. So, result of doing a ritual is for the future. I will have a good life in the future. I will want to have wealth. So, the entire Veda Purva Bhaga is based on this law of karma. And it explains it beautifully. You do good rituals, you do good karmas, and you get good rewards in life. That is why people keep on doing some Satyanarayan puja, some puja at home. These are good things to be done because it keeps the mind free from wrong thoughts. So these are some of the corollaries, some of the extensions of the law of karma. Punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam. How does this law apply with reference to death? Prārabdha karma, Prārabdha is gone with this birth. The Āgāmi joins with Sanchita. And then what happens? You get another physical body. So the reflected medium, which is the mind, gets born again and again into different bodies because of the causal body. The causal body has got this punyam and the impressions to put it in a very simple ways. Some of the impressions which are there after our actions, those impressions will fructify either now or later, giving us the results. Sukshma Shariram is the one which travels when the Sthula Shariram drops out. When the Sthula Shariram drops off, the mind along with the sense organs and the reflected consciousness, they travel to the next body. So it is a jiva. What is the definition of a jiva? Jiva is a reflected consciousness together with the reflecting medium called the mind. If you analyze your own experiences, you will find that your physical body is just a house. Like you live in a house, external house. I, the jiva, live in this house called as the body. The body lives in the house, external house. But what is that portion which is living in this body? It is the mind. It is the mind which resides in this body. It is the mind which leaves this body and the body falls. When the mind leaves the body, it carries with it all the future Sanchita and Āgāmi karma phalams along with it to the next body. Based on the next prarabdham, you will get your appropriate parents, appropriate time, appropriate place of birth. So there are different experiences which are all allocated for this Prārabdha karma and Sanchita karma. But Atma Jnana is a very, very powerful instrument. It is a knowledge as an instrument, but it can destroy all our previous impressions. So for a Jnani, he avoids the Āgāmi because he has no ego. When a Jnani is performing in this world, he does everything for Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha means for the good of the humanity. Therefore, what happens? He is not attached. See, if the good results come, he's not happy. Bad results come, he's not overtly sorrowful. So, Jnani's life is one who does not associate with the law of karma. All other Ajñānis, we can only define our life through the law of karma. Okay? Some Jñānis are dynamic in life. Some Jñānis, they just reside and they relax and they see again, some Jñānis, they come out and teach. Some Jñānis will say, why teach? I will do seva. I will do service. Some Jñānis will not do either teach neither seva, but they will just sit in ashram and or just sit and do meditation. It all depends on their Prārabdha karma. The last verse for Tattvabodha is here in this verse 38.4.
तथा च आत्मवित् संसारं तीर्त्वा तथा च आत्मवित् संसारं तीर्त्वा ब्रह्मानन्दमिहैव प्राप्नोति ब्रह्मानन्दमिहैव प्राप्नोति तरति शोकमात्मवित् तरति शोकम् आत्मवित् इति श्रुतेः तनुं त्यजतु वा काश्यां तनुं त्यजतु वा काश्यां स्वपचस्य गृहेथ वा स्वपचस्य गृहेत वा ज्ञानसम्प्राप्तिसमये मुक्तोऽसौ विगताशयः इति स्मृतेश्च
So Shankaracharya writes this beautiful verse as the last verse of Tattvabodha. What does he say? He refers to one verse from Chandogya Upanishad. And then he writes this verse. I will show you the Chandogya Upanishad verse in the next slide. Atmavit crosses samsara. A person who knows his Atma, not the body. Body or mind is known to all of us. But Atma, the self, is not known to us. The source of Atma is only the scriptures. Shruti. The Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, these are all the scriptures which teach Atma. Then what happens when a person learns that he is Atma? He is freed from all actions and the result of his three sharirams, sthula shariram, karana shariram, sukshma shariram. They all dissolve with the sthula prapancha, sukshma prapancha, karana prapancha. That means here and now, the last birth gets over for a jnani. Whereas for a ajñāni, jnani means wise man who has understood he is Atma. For other people, that they travel to the next sharir along with the reflected consciousness. Now, Chandogya Upanishad, this particular verse, chapter 7, which is called Bhuma Vidya, it is the proof that through the study of Upanishads, one can get rid of sorrow in life. This is the verse which says that if you study the Veda, you will get rid of sorrow. After this knowledge, the jnani may drop his body in Kashi or in any other place. The time of death is not important. The place of death is not important. The mode of death is not important. Whether he dies in the morning or evening or during which solstice, nothing matters for it. Because at the time of knowledge itself, suppose, for example, today you believe that I am the Atma, the Chaitanyam principle, which is there in this body. It is also there in the outside the body. Outside the body, it is in the way of existence principle. Inside the body, it is in the way of as a sakshi of all thoughts. I am that awareness. I am that awareness. Once you are convinced that body is not me, mind is not me, I am the Atma, that is what is called as Jivan Mukti, and that is what is called as freedom from the cycle of birth and death. In short, it is called as Samsara. Samsarati, that means taking repeatedly death, birth, death, that cycle. You are in the cycle of birth and death. You come out of that cycle. That is the benefit of the future study of Atmabodha and other texts which we will be studying. So this is the last verse. What we have discussed in a short form is there is one truth which is called as consciousness, awareness. It's called as Brahman. That Brahman has got a Shakti, a power called as Maya. That Maya has got three types of gunas. Guna means attributes. A power, we just say a Shakti, but now Veda defines that Shakti in three parts. Knowing Shakti, that means Ichha Shakti, something which I can, Jnana Shakti, it is knowing power. I can know the world. That is one of the powers. If I am a Jiva, I am knowing this world, it is a power in me. Doing power. Knowing power is called as Satva. Doing power is called as Rajoguna. And sleeping. Every night I go to sleep. That power to sleep is called as Tamoguna. It is this power which is called as Prakriti with three gunas, which creates the five elements, and then the subtle body, gross elements, creates the gross body, and then you have the sense organs and the mind. All this put together, they give us the experiences in life. Maya consists of 24 factors. We have studied this. This is just a conclusion. In the totality, we have Sattva, Rajas, and Tamoguna. And then we have got the Sattva Guna creating uh, the sense objects, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. It creates the five elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. Then Jnana Indriyas, like the ears, skin, eyes, nose, they're all formed out of the respective five elements. Combination gives rise to a mind, combination of the Sattva Gunas. Then the Rajoguna is in charge of the karma indriyas, creation of the organs of action. Each of these element is responsible for one organ of action. And the combination of all the Rajoguna leads to the prana activity. That means prana is born out of the combination of the five elements. That is what we have discussed. So with this, uh, the study of Tattvabodha is over, and what I will do is, I have already discussed the short notes before with you, so I'm not running through this. And I want to discuss this BMI chart. It is called as the Om chart, which is designed by Swami Chinmayananda. And it's a beautiful chart to understand our body and our experiences in life. Om is the supreme consciousness. Supreme consciousness is there in the totality of the universe. Consciousness is asanga. It is not connected with the world or with the bodies. But in its presence, the bodies become alive. And the body has got vasanas. So how do we start the entire cycle? There is one consciousness awareness, which is called as Purushaha. That Purusha is ever there, always there. As an individual, I am got Karana Shariram, which is called as unmanifest, invisible vasanas, impressions. The vasanas is also called as Prakriti, nature. It is called Maya. It is called as a power in this body. That power is responsible for the functioning of the body, mind, and intellect. Now, these are the three instruments for that power, Maya, Shakti. Body is an instrument. It is not the self. The self is Om. So body is an instrument. Through that instrument, I become a mata, a perceiver of the sense objects. I am the supreme Purushaha, Om. By identifying with the body, I become a perceiver and I experience the world. Through the mind, I experience the feelings. Sukham and Dukkham belongs to the mind. It does not belong to the body. It's not belonging to the gross body. These are emotions in the mind. That is the second instrument we all have. The third instrument we have is the intellect, which tells me what is right, what is wrong, what is real, what is unreal. All my experiences are fleeting, therefore unreal. Which part of your body determines this? It is the buddhi, intellect. And it is the buddhi which thinks. It becomes a thinker. From morning to evening, you are a thinker. Thoughts are continuously going on. That is the nature of the world. It is the nature of our body and mind. And through the thoughts, I have certain experiences. Body gives me certain experiences of the objects outside by perceiving the objects, sense objects. Mind gives me the feeling. Intellect gives me the thoughts. So my whole life is what? The body, mind, intellect, BMI, PFT, and OET. This is called as Vyavaharika Satyam. Vyavaharika Satyam means transactional reality. In transactional reality, that Purusha, which is Om, which is pure consciousness, pure awareness, mistakes to become the individual Jiva identified with the body-mind complex. How do I retrace my way back to that Om? That is the topic of Atma Bodha. That is the topic of all the Upanishads. That is the topic of Bhagavad Gita. With this, I conclude the entire study of Tattvabodha. Today is the 10th session. In this 10 sessions, we have covered 5 major topics. The first topic was Sadhana Chatushtayam, which is the qualifications which we have to develop to become a good seeker. Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadha, Shatka, Sampatti, and Mumukshutva. The 4 Ds, if you remember. That was from verse number 1 to 13. The second topic was discussion of the individual from verse number 8 to 16. Here we discussed the 3 bodies. Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram. The third topic of Tattvabodha was from 17 to 26, and it is called as Samashti Vichara. Vichara means inquiry into the totality. That is where we discussed Sthula Prapancha, the gross world, Sukshma Prapancha, the subtle world, and Karana Prapancha, the causal world. That was from 17 to 26. The fourth topic was a very important topic for the seekers who want to know the ultimate truth of themselves and the world. That is Mahavakya Vichara, otherwise called as Aikya Vichara. From verse number 27 to 34, a slightly difficult topic, but as you study Atma Bodha, Bhagavad Gita, and Upanishads, this particular topic of oneness in this world, which is called as Brahman or Atma, that can be realized as your own nature. First, we say there is something called as Atma, there is something called as Brahman. Then the next challenge for us is how to realize that Atma as my very own nature. The last topic which we covered is from 35 to 38, which we did today, Jnana Phalam, which is Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. I no longer consider myself as the physical body, but I consider myself as the pure Sakshi Chaitanyam, pure awareness principle. With this awareness, I can lead the rest of my life. Accept whatever life brings to me as experiences because of Prārabdha karma. I don't get attached to them, I live through them and abide in my real nature as Om. Om is a short form for Atma. Anytime you want to remember this Atma Tattvam in you, just chant Om in your mind. Om, Om, Om. Immediately your mind will go to that knowledge called Tattvabodha. With this, I close today's session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I will go through the chat box first. Manoharam is asking, in some place of Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that Jiva is doing actions due to three gunas. Is three gunas also linked to the law of karma? Yes, it is very much linked to the law of karma. You see, the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita talks about three gunas. The three gunas are Satva, Rajas, and Tamas. Now, the three gunas are the environment in which the jiva comes and lives. Primarily, the jiva's Sattva guna, Rajas guna, and Tamo guna is in the mind. But the outside environment also has Sattva guna, Rajoguna, and nighttime is Tamo guna. Early in the morning is Sattva guna. During the daytime is Rajoguna. So the time period outside is also linked with our Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas in our mind. Okay, so there is a link between, they say, ultimately, after you study the 14th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, they say that our entire life is governed by three gunas. Whole life, whether it is right from birth to death, is three gunas only acting. See, the way we should look at it is, I am awareness and Maya is this three gunas. And Maya is this body acting in the world. It is having certain results of actions and so on. So, Manoharan, have I answered your question? Shanmugam will unmute everybody so that in case you want to ask something, you can speak.
Secretary, thank you very much. This is Manigan. Actually, my name is Manigan and Manogaran. So
okay,
actually,
Manigan, go ahead, no problem. Yeah.
Thank you, Secretary. It's linked, but this karma pala means to control our actions, as you told us, free will. Sometimes it is linked with the three gunas also. So how one can do the action, considering the three gunas is controlling, how we can overpower this three gunas? Sometimes it's very difficult to handle the situation, to
I agree.
to act. So this is through the means this is one practical difficulty.
I agree. I understand your question now. See, the three gunas directly cannot be controlled because that is Ishvara. It is Ishvara Shakti. The three gunas are under it's Maya Shakti belongs to Ishvara. So I as an individual cannot control. What is possible for me is to understand that my body and mind is going through these three gunas. Suppose my mind is very, very rajasic, very active. It is very, very turbulent. The reflected consciousness in this body, the awareness principle in this body can become aware that my mind is going through some turmoil. That knowledge you will never get if you don't come to Vedanta. That is the difference between a Jñāni and an Ajñāni. A Jñāni will say, my mind is disturbed. I will go through the mind's condition of Rajoguna. Arjuna asked this question to Lord Krishna. He says that, how is it possible? What is the cause of this anger rising in my mind? Kama esha, krodha eshaha, rajoguna samudbhavaha. This Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, this anger and passion, kama, these both are rajoguna. Try to become aware of it whenever it comes in your mind, in your experiences. You can't control them because that is nature, that is prakriti. What you can do is become aware of this whenever it comes to in your experiences. By becoming aware, you will be a jnani. You will be able to go through those emotions. It can be sorrowful emotions also which can come. Some people are wrecked by emotions, but a jnani will be able to come out of it. The frequency, intensity by which you can come out of those emotional disturbances is a judge whether your jnanam is working or not. Suppose jnanam is there, you have learned so much of Bhagavad Gita, you have done so much of listening for 4 years, 3 years, every Saturday you have been listening. What is the litmus test by which you can see whether my jnanam is dridam, firm or not? Whenever there is some difficult situations in your life on a day-to-day basis, are you overthrown? Are you taken over by those circumstances? Or are you able to hold on yourself? That is a manifestation of your knowledge. Okay. So to answer your question, yes, you cannot control these 3 gunas, but you become aware of the 3 gunas.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Very good question. Good, Manikandan. Thank you. Go down materials are called Sanchita. Prārabdha is material that has been brought to be processed. Āgāmi is material that has not been processed. Good. That is a correct way, or that's another way of putting these three karma phalams. Nandu, do you want to expand on this?
Hariom.
Yeah,
I
Hariom.
think that was a beautiful terminology I got somewhere, and I believe that is good to share. And beyond this, there is a shloka comes in the Gita which is about like Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kuruti tatha. So once jnana is done, so everything is like it's like burned out. So there will not be anything remain.
Correct. It's a good example you have given. Just to expand on that, what Nandisa is saying is, suppose you have certain stock of things lying in the godown, in the warehouse. That is what is called as Sanchita karma. Then, Prārabdha karma is what you have brought in your current processing. Suppose in the warehouse you have certain raw material, you bring to your assembly line certain things for processing. That is what is called as Prārabdha karma. That means it is your current life. Now, Āgāmi is something which you write today and keep it in the godown for the future. It is something which you add on in this cycle. So that is one way of putting it. So good. And Bhagavad Gita is full of examples and verses for the study of Prārabdha karma. Very beautiful verses are there. And what happens to a jnani is Bhasmasat. Bhasmasat means for a jnani, all these karmas and karma phalams are burned to ashes. They are burned. Why is it burned? Because that impressions which is there in the Karana Shariram they are not able to withstand the power of Atma Jnana. Atma Jnana is very, very powerful. That is why they say in the scriptures that they burn all our past actions, and this is again it is a source is only it's only the Bhagavad Gita. Like Nandu Desai has said, this is verse number 37 of chapter number 4. Any other questions? You can raise your hand and ask the question if you have anything regarding Tattvabodha. As I told you, we will be starting the next text. Last week I had asked the question, we need Tattvabodha. Many people have said yes, and some people have also written to me. So I plan to start next week on the 12th of July, Atma Bodha. We'll study the text and continue our study on this. This is the Atma Bodha is also a text for people who are beginners. But people who have studied Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, for them it is a very good revision. So both people will be benefited. Anybody else has any other? I will be sending a small link because I want to close the Tattvabodha group. Some people, I mean, almost 300 people had listed for sometimes taking the videos, studying through the videos. So generally speaking, I always, whenever I start a new text, I will send a link. You just join the link and then we'll continue. You will get the link after I distribute the video of today's session. I will send you the link. Anybody else has anything else to say today? Especially newcomers, have you got any benefit out of this study of Tattvabodha? I would like to hear from you in case somebody wants to share.
Sir, I am Guhan.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Newcomer, sir. I joined only this first time I joined in Tattvabodha.
Yeah.
And this experience has opened up a world of, I won't say knowledge because I am yet to get it, but a new chapter which was totally oblivious to us in our previous existence. So now this Atma Vichara has started actually.
Good,
So,
very good.
Thank you very much, sir. That is why I asked 2-3 doubts also day before yesterday.
Yeah, no
thank
problem.
You, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Those people who can't join immediately next week, doesn't matter. You can join whenever you can, but you just add your name in the WhatsApp group, and then you can join whenever you can. Anybody else? Okay, so
Can you
we
hear me?
will. Yeah. Go ahead, Nandu.
Yeah, Sir Nandu here again.
Yeah.
In the text about Acharya mentioned about like the Jnāni
Yeah.
and anything maybe some good qualities he's giving to like devotees, and if someone is like blaming
Correct.
to
Yeah.
Jnāni, and
Yeah.
Acharya mentioned that is like giving coming as like a papam.
Yeah.
So I believe that is very much relevant because that has to be for a Lord, that has to be accounted somewhere. Because for Jnani, there is nothing can be accounted on his account.
Correct.
Whereas that blame has to be accounted on someone.
Correct. It
That's why,
flows
yeah.
from the Lord. It is the Jnani. Jnani is just an instrument. That's all.
Hmm.
Through which this punyam and papam will come to the devotee.
Yeah.
Jnani, as far as he is concerned, is a free person. For those people who criticize, for those people who glorify a Jnani, for them, this explanation is given. You got it, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Good. Okay. So we'll see next week on Atmabodha. It's a fairly long text with many verses. So it might take a little bit time. It might take 3-4 months or maybe more. Atmabodha is the text which we will do next. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Namaste, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.